This episode is powered by Fuse Energy. Now, a lot of politicians like to talk about the future of renewables, but Fuse is on the ground building clean energy for the here and now.
And they're making it happen thanks to you. Fuse Energy is putting the power in your hands by inviting you to refer land to Fuse that can then be used for renewable projects.
So we already know clean energy has cut at least £104 billion from the UK's energy costs since 2010. But Fuse wants you to benefit directly from the green revolution. That's why you can win £2,000 for a successful land referral, be it your land or somebody else's.
Land that is 20 acres or over could be transformed into the renewable backbone of this nation, benefiting all of us for generations to come.
I'd love to know how many of our listeners have 20 acres of land. We should maybe find out. You can watch the energy revolution from the sidelines, or you can join it today.
Turn idle land into forward progress with Fuse. Contact Fuse at land@fuseenergy.com to start a referral and have the chance to win £2,000.
Welcome to A Christmas Day, Rest is Politics special with me, Alastair Campbell.
Lovely to see you. And are you eating, Alistair? That's a real sign of Christmas.
Quality Street.
Usually you're telling me that was Saddam Hussein's favourite sweet, wasn't it?
Quality Street, was it?
Yeah, he loved Quality Street. Every time George Galloway went to see him, he'd bring him a box of Quality Street.
Oh, it was also a line in Kemi Badenoch's budget speech.
Yeah, Quality Street. Yeah. Oh, good.
Anyway,
yeah,
let's get on with it.
Okay,
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas to you. I love you. Christmas, let's get on with it. What surprised you, Alastair, the most?
Even though I knew that it was going to be awful, is just how awful the first year of the Trump presidency has been on so many levels. Far better organised than the first time, far more extreme, far more truly terrible things going on that you almost can't keep up with them. Undermining the rule of law, the horror of some of the behaviour of his and the budget for ICE, the tariffs that we talked about on Christmas Eve, the hokey-cokey on Ukraine, the way that Putin plays him, the awfulness of some of his people around him. I could go on and on and on and on.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising. Trump is surprising. I mean, in a horrible way. But, you know, if you were Narendra Modi in India, the one thing you were confident of is that India was going to get a good deal out of a Trump presidency. They'd invited Jared Kushner to a fancy wedding. They'd done all the right things. They were filling stadiums together. India was the counterbalance to China. America was going to be focusing on China, so they were going to be nice to India. No. The one thing you were confident about if you were Israel is that Trump was not going to recognize Syria and lift the sanctions on Syria. The one thing you were confident on if you were Israel is that Trump was not going to sell F-35s to Saudi Arabians.
Is this a gibbon?
Yeah, no, it's
a mating gibbon.
The mating gibbon is good.
Is that a mating gibbon?
No.
What is it?
It's the red buzzer that we had in our live shows a year ago. Just to remind people of our live shows. We can keep going on, but I mean, one of the most amazing things is occasionally I'm fortunate enough to sit next to some of these great titans of American finance, these kind of famous people who run the big hedge funds and banks. They are consistently wrong in their predictions about Trump. You know, they really think they know him well, and every 4 weeks, he does something which they absolutely assure me that he won't do.
It's that phrase that when we did the miniseries with Michael Wolff about Murdoch, this thing about people ache to believe that Murdoch's going to be a good guy. I think with Trump, you ache to believe that it's going to sort of be some sort of normality in this presidency.
Yeah, well, I still think you've got onto the great analytical tool here, which is the reality TV show. That's the only way of explaining why, having done an entire campaign saying Mamdani was a communist anti-Semite who would destroy the world, when he invites Mamdani into the Oval Office, he does a kind of love him.
Yeah.
A love him. It can only be that he's running the equivalent of a reality TV show where he just has to go, I hate him, I love him, I hate him, I love him, in order to keep the narrative going.
So what's your big surprise? Were you on the same thing?
Yeah, I'm totally on the same thing.
Cool.
What's your personal highlight of the year?
Personal highlight of the year? There are two. One was in Sarajevo being told by the organizer of the youth sport games that next year I will be captain of the team in the Pro-Am match, and Luka Modric, your lookalike, will be on my team.
No.
Yeah.
You're going to be captaining Luka Modric?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was good.
Are you playing enough football, Alastair, to be able to play with Luka Modric? I know he's considered to be getting...
I played with Maradona.
Modric is getting...
20 years ago.
Modric. I mean, I know people think Modric is getting a bit old. He's now 40, but you're a little bit older than Luka Modric, aren't you?
28 years older. 40's great for a footballer in the modern age. That's amazing. I actually watched him play in the Milan derby the other day. He's still got it. He's not as fast as he was, but, nor am I.
Can you tell us what it means for your actual style of play now? Are you moving a little bit less with the ball, a little bit more stationary?
One game I played, I told Sean Dyche, the ex-Burnley, now Nottingham Forest manager, I was going to be playing this charity match. He said, do the Dick Turpin style, stand and deliver.
That's very good, very good.
So, no, but my actual personal highlight was being taken by the Woodland Trust to play my bagpipes to my favourite tree, which then appeared in the exhibition launched by your friend the King ahead of COP.
Oh.
It was called Living Legends, and the legends of the trees rather than the people.
Not you and the bagpipes.
So it was me, Theresa May, Nile Rodgers, a few other people, Fiona Bruce, and we were pictured with our favourite trees.
Oh,
and it was
lovely.
just the most beautiful day. The tree is called the Skipinish Oak because it was a friend of mine who is in this band called Skipinish, who they discovered this extraordinary tree. It's just one of the most impressive trees on the planet. And the day that we went to it was just one of those days in the Scottish Highlands when it was beautiful weather, blue skies, and it's just wonderful. We should treat our listeners and viewers to me playing my pipes to this tree. It was a wonderful
to the
moment.
oak. Yeah. So you don't talk to trees, you play music to them?
Yeah, sometimes talk to them.
Yeah,
Give them a bit of a hug.
Bit of hug.
Yeah.
Hug is good. Hug
Yeah.
is good.
But it's massive. It's massive. And I love standing there and looking at this thing and thinking, this thing has been here for hundreds and hundreds.
And now you can understand La
hundreds of
Chaîne
years.
when it began.
Le Chêne.
Le Chêne. Oh,
Le Chêne.
nice.
Let's
Le
not screw up our French grammar.
Okay, so Le Chêne.
Le Chêne.
And what you learnt from that is that this thing will have started as a tiny acorn, probably in a massed year, with tens of thousands of other acorns scattered across the ground. And by some miracle, maybe in a thorn bush or whatever, it survived. And then at the right moment, the thorns were cut away and it sprung up into the air.
God did that, didn't he?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Connecting. That's a nice Christmas message.
Yeah.
Oak trees, of course. Well, of course, some people say pagan festivals around mistletoe and oaks, quite connected to this particular day. Idea of rebirth. Anyway, my highlight. So my highlight of the year is I've discovered a little trick in the morning, which is I go into the kids' bedroom and I take them out for a little expedition to get a croissant and a coffee for the family. So I have a lovely sort of, I suppose I have 5-minute walk there, 3 minutes queuing for the croissant, 5-minute walk back, but a really lovely time, just 7 a.m. with the kids. Sometimes just one of them, sometimes both of them. It's just very precious.
Good. Excellent. Book of the year.
Book of the year. Johan, what's your book of the year?
I think if I'm only allowed one.
Yep.
I've mentioned this before. It would be If Russia Wins by Carlo Marsala. Written in German. It's been translated into English. And it's a sort of novelette. It's actually called a scenario. So it's obviously with real people, real events. It's about what's happening in Ukraine now. But it's what happens if Russia wins. And it just sets out this amazing story. And it really is. It's gripping and it feels very, very, very realistic.
And then you had another book by a friend of yours who's writing about AI.
Oh, that actually would be my novel of the year. We both have lots of people who say, I've written a book. Can you read it for me? Maybe do da. So this friend of mine I was at university with, he was a medic. He went on to become a war doctor called Robin Coupland. He's now retired. So he sends me this book and he says, I've written this novel. I'd love to know what you think. It's absolutely brilliant. And I'm actually now trying to get him what I might call a proper publisher because it's self-published. He published it himself. It's about an AI companion that a family gives to an old man who's lost his wife. And this AI companion just becomes ever more important in his life. The guy eventually dies. Then the AI companion goes on to this vicar. And then bit by bit, you get to the AI companion adapts to...
Well, don't tell us too much because we go...
just the political bit
Yeah.
gets to when the AI companion links up with other AI systems and somehow finds a way into North Korea's nuclear weapons program.
Well,
which the CIA have been trying to do for decades.
Any publisher listening to this, please Please pay attention.
So that's and then my third one, Rory, which I mentioned many times on our tour, Bagpipes: A Cultural History by Richard McLaughlin. It's a great book.
It's a lovely, lovely pitch. Now, in tribute to you and my long years of apprenticeship at the feet of Alastair Campbell, I must plug my book, Middle Land, which is out, and it's a lovely set of 100 very short little essays. You read it in the loo, read it in the bath, read it on the tube, with positive, optimistic stories of the British countryside.
As if we haven't plugged it enough. I gave it a better plug than that when it came out.
I feel you did, and I feel I'm learning. Now here's 3 books though not written by me.
Yeah.
I've become increasingly entranced by a novelist called Nick Harkaway, who's John le Carré's son. Yeah. He's written a great follow-on le Carré book called Carla's Choice, but he's also written under his own name a whole series of extraordinary sci-fi dystopian novels, of which the Titanium Noir series I thought was most interesting, partly because it's about Tex Rose, and it's also about his understanding, which we've touched on but maybe haven't done enough on, the sense in which time sort of freezes. Actually, the sense that the 1940s feel much more different to 1980 than 1980 does to today. Mm-hmm. That there's a sort of odd sense that you get back into the 40s or even the 70s, and you really think you're looking at a very alien culture. Get back into the 90s, which is now quite a long time ago. Things haven't changed as much as you'd think.
That's interesting, yeah.
And you get that sort of sense in a lot of things: fashion, music, food, culture, and British productivity. Anyway, so that Nick Harkaway. Okay. Second one, I talked about AI. If people are interested in the amazing story of the businesses, the egos, the personalities around AI, Karen Howe's Empire of AI, I think is really lovely. And for people more on the kind of spiritual side, because we're at Christmas, almost any podcast or interview done by either Rowan Williams or Father Zacharias worth listening to.
Is that a book? That's not a book.
Father Zacharias Rowan Williams has written books, but I think he's particularly good in his short sermons on audio.
Maybe we should have a podcast of the year that's not ours. We should do that next year.
We should have put it. Father Zacharias is a monk in Essex, talks wonderfully about faith. But my book, Mathieu Ricard, Notebook of a Wandering Monk. Mathieu Ricard, astonishing. I mean, like a sort of central casting French meritocratic success story. His father, one of the most famous left-wing editors in France, went to the fanciest schools in France, graduated, and really, in some ways might have been a kind of miniature Macron or Juppé or something, decided to go and become a Tibetan monk. And this is really his diary, and it's astonishing. There are 7-year retreats. There are his encounters with his father. He actually wrote a book called The Monk and the Philosopher about arguing with his left-wing atheist dad about being a Tibetan monk. There are incredible portraits of Bhutan in the 90s when it was completely locked away from the world, where he goes, essentially every village is an incredible shrine dedicated to Buddhism, traveling with his lamas, these great gurus that he follows. Question for you. Film of the year.
Do you know, I struggle with this almost as much as I struggled with UK Politician of the Year, but I'm going, in the end, for The Ballad of Wallace Island.
Oh, my Lord. Is that not, that sounds quite serious. When things called The Ballad of, it usually means grim, doesn't it?
No, well, it's serious. It's very funny.
Is it darkly humorous with drunken Scots in it? Or
there
Irish
are no
people?
drunken Scots. It's got a very small cast.
Right.
It was written by a guy called Tom Basden and Tim Key. Tom Basden also writes music, and there's some fabulous music in it.
And no drunken Irish people?
No.
Okay.
Not one.
Okay. Oh, maybe I've got this wrong. Drunken Scandinavians?
No.
Okay, I got wrong the whole theme
You've
of this.
Totally got the
I thought this
Why
was
do you listen and I'll tell you?
Go on, tell us that.
God's sake. It's got Carey Mulligan in it, which is always a good thing. She and Tom Basden were an item, and they were a band together. They were musicians together. And this guy who's become very, very, very wealthy, not really through having any special talents. He lives on this very, very small island. Hardly anybody else lives there. And he lures them into coming onto the island because he wants them to get back together, and he wants them to do a sort of comeback concert. But he is the audience. It's very funny. It's rich. It's got beautiful music, beautiful scenery, and I loved it.
My film would be Nuremberg, with this extraordinary performance by Russell Crowe as Goering in the Nuremberg trials.
Oh.
This is now the 40th anniversary of John and Anne Chuse's book on the Nuremberg trials. John went to see it and he just thought, they have got this absolutely right.
Brilliant.
They've got the courtroom right. They've got the style right. And if you really want to understand evil and charisma, Russell Crowe as Hermann Goering.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, neither of us watch a lot of TV show of the year. I think we're going to go for the same one here.
Well, I hope we're not going to go for Celebrity Traitors.
We're not going for that because neither of us watched a single second of it. I'm going for Slow Horses, runner-up, Blue Lights, which is a story about the police service of Northern Ireland. And it's very well made. And it is a kind of just a sort of a police thriller type thing. But it's got so many different levels going on that are really interesting if you're interested in Northern Ireland.
The most recent season, I know I chose The Diplomat last year, but the most recent season, The Diplomat, is completely blows you away.
Is this just an admission that you've only ever watched one TV program?
Pretty much, yeah. And this is, again, about the relationship between America and Britain and Europe and its vulnerability to America. So very prescient. I don't know when they wrote it, but boy, is a way of imagining the current moment.
Okay, Rory, quick break. Then we're going to come back with Best New Place Visited, Home or Abroad, Cultural Event and Campaigner of the Year.
Okay, very good. Welcome back to the Rest is Politics Christmas special with me, Rory Stewart.
And me, Alastair Campbell. Best New Place Visited, Home or Abroad.
Blimey, where did you go?
My best place visited, home or abroad, I'm going to go for the bathing pools at La Valette on Guernsey.
Oh, Guernsey.
Most of my best places, I think last year it was a swimming place. I judge a lot of things by whether you have a really good cold water swim. And the bathing pools on Guernsey, it's like they have this Australian model of where a pool is built into the sea. And they also have, I'm not a big fan of saunas, but I was a really big fan of this sauna. One, because it was bloody cold. And secondly, because we just had these amazing views out from the sauna.
From the sauna?
From the sauna,
It's like
yeah.
a glass wall in the sauna?
It was windows inside the sauna,
yeah.
The pool itself was absolutely beautiful. And I've been to Jersey a few times, but I'm trying to think, I don't think I'd ever been to Guernsey before.
Oh,
yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, that's lovely. My push is for Colombia, which we talked about a bit on the podcast, and particularly the Rainbow River. It's, again, us swimming in waterfalls, but above this extraordinary coloured river, which my 8-year-old discovered through a teacher. It's actually a type of fern in the water, goes from green to red, and the gravel is yellow, and then the light hitting it is blue. So literally, the river is this kind of insane rainbow colour. It's right in the centre of Colombia. Very few people go there. It's not like going to Cartagena, which sadly, a bit like Venice, is now being completely overrun by tourists. You can't move. Central Colombia, unexplored, magical Colombia.
Excellent. Cultural event of the year. You're not allowed to say the Rest is Politics tour.
The Rest is Politics tour. Yeah, the live tour. Well, I have seen a remarkable number of people. I was just doing a Christmas signing at Hatchards, and a very large number of people who came to see us had seen us in the live tour. And some of them were talking about how you had inspired them through, well, often through disagreeing agreeably. They seem to like that as a Christmas message.
They do like that. I've got two. One of them, I mentioned Notre Dame last year, but I can't have been by then. I think I was just watching it on TV, but we went to Notre Dame. The new Notre Dame, the refurbished Notre Dame, despite your loathing of mon ami Emmanuel Macron, is an amazing transformation. But the other thing that we went to in Paris was the Hockney exhibition, which was extraordinary. One of the best art exhibitions I've ever been to. Finally, the National Theatre do these terrific, where they film plays at the National Theatre, and you can then go and see them in the cinema, which are a relatively new thing. And Fiona and I, with Callum, we went to see The Fifth Step, starring Jack Lowden, a brilliant Scottish actor, and Martin Freeman. And it was just absolutely amazing because, you know, when you go to the theatre, but I do like going to the theatre, but for a start, you're often surrounded by people eating and shuffling and piddling about, what have you. It's beautifully filmed. So it's just two guys. The whole story is two people. There's only two people in this play. It's about The Fifth Step is one of the steps in Alcoholics Anonymous, and the play is about the relationship between an alcoholic and a sponsor who's trying to help the alcoholic through. They're both brilliant actors, but the filming of it is just absolutely beautiful. And because the thing is, when you go to the theatre, if you're sitting a third of the way, half of the way towards the back of the theatre, you can't actually see the actors' faces. You can't actually get a lot of what they do. So when you see it in the cinema, big screen, it's absolutely brilliant.
So my culture events of the year, first one, Marie Antoinette at the Victoria and Albert Museum. It begins with an extraordinary story about fashion and clothing and jewelry and celebrity. In some ways, she's one of those great first celebrities, a kind of global figure for her face and her clothes. But it's the other side of celebrity too, and the way in which we turn against famous people or people who are perceived to get power. And in this case, chopped her head off. I mean, literally executed her, and executed her because of what she represented. And the guillotine's there, her death mask is there, the clothes she wore at the moment for execution. It's a heart-wrenching experience. And it makes you think of actually so many celebrities who are kind of built up and then smashed down by public opinion in the most deadly way. On a happier note, with another unashamed plug, my wife Shoshana with Turquoise Mountain has begun doing exhibitions in London around the crafts of the West Bank and Palestine, Afghanistan, Syria. There was one in Sotheby's in Bond Street this year, and there's going to be another one in the Garrison Chapel in central London in February. And these are craftspeople from conflict zones. These are women from Afghanistan weaving incredible carpets. Currently, Turquoise Mountain is supporting, I think, 7,000 women weaving carpets. It's Syrian refugee artisans returning home and producing masterpieces in mother of pearl and wood carving. It's people in the West Bank, Palestinians in unbelievable difficult situations, creating glorious glassware, jewelry, cups. And it's a sign of economic development, working conflict zones, but also just beauty, pride, production.
Great. Okay. Last category this Christmas Day 2025, Campaigner of the Year.
Ooh.
I think we're going to agree.
Okay, go. Try.
I'm going Zora Mamdani.
Political campaigner, unbelievable.
He's not even 35 yet. Really charismatic, really clever. I think quite strategic. He's now going to have to show that he can do it. It's going to be very, very difficult because expectations around him are so high. Political structures in America don't necessarily give them, they've got more power than a lot of British mayors have, but they don't have all the hands on all the levers. But I think as a campaigner, he was absolutely brilliant. And the fact that he's essentially, I know New York's a massive city, but in the end, it's a local position, political position within a admittedly large country. He's literally gone from zero to being a global figure. It's a pretty amazing thing. He's done it through being a brilliant campaigner.
Here's my little campaign of the year. And actually, curiously, it's a little bit more anonymous, more difficult to associate an individual with it, is the UK campaign around prostate cancer. Mm-hmm. And encouraging people to have PSA tests. It's a needless, horrible death affecting tens of thousands of people. We're a politics podcast. David Cameron has just said that he's now been diagnosed with prostate cancer, diagnosed because his wife heard this campaign being aired on the Radio 4 and made him have a test. It's something that I'm afraid for bad reasons, as well as good reasons, the NHS has been resisting because false positives happen with these tests. I think the campaigners are absolutely right. Let's drive through these tests. It will make a huge difference. I think people can cope with the fact there can be false positives, and it will save a lot of lives.
Excellent. Well, on the happy note of saving lots of lives, happy Christmas. See you in the new year.
See you in the new year.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.